But in saying that, Ken Hinkley had the exact same situation when he went to Port Adelaide, except instead of playing a defensive game, he came out and played an attacking, very exciting game. And of course, the results are spoken for themselves. They won a final at the MCG, and this year they're looking very ominous. Obviously, when Ken Hinkley arrived at Port Adelaide, the team was a bit of a basket case. A lot of people thought finished 16th in 2011. 14th in 2012 under Matty Primus, who got sacked halfway through the season. People compared them to Fitzroy and didn't really class any of their players, but now they're playing a very exciting game.
Already you're making far too much sense.
No, look, Layla, you bring up some very good points, but look, there's a few things I'll just question. Firstly, when he went there, he obviously had some experienced players in the side. He had Cornsey, Ebert, Hartlett, Boat, Schultz. They had young kids in Wingard, Wines and Need, but also they got a bloke not by the name of Darren Burgess, who's probably the best fitness coach, not in Australia, but probably one of the best in the world. But also they got a president, David Koch, a general manager, ex-player in Keith Thomas. So I think we can't compare Port Power to Melbourne.
Yeah, well, they've got a lot of things. They've got a lot of things happening at Port Adelaide, and they need to put all those foundations in Melbourne as well.
I'm with Layla there. I think Port Adelaide were a basket case until Ken Hinkley came along, and he's played an attacking game of football, and that's what we're talking about as a difference. This possession play, Gilbert. Last week, Melbourne had 391 possessions and only kicked 4 goals and got belted by 93 points. So the question to me, regardless of whether they got key forwards, is how long do you keep that game style up? Do you have to say, all right, we'll try it for a while. If that's not working, we'll try another game.
Or it's how the coach can get the message across, the way he communicates with the players, because some coaches are better at doing it than the others. So I heard something on the radio the other day, and I had to bring it up because this is what Justin Westhoff said about his coach, Kenny Hinkley. Have a listen.
His passion for the game and his willingness to win is probably second to none. I haven't really seen that with any other coach that I've had. Speaking to him, he just wants me to get a little bit of respect in the competition, and I think he's playing me in positions which suit me a lot better and the way I play the game. You just want to play for him, and you just want to win for him, and that's a trait that he has that I think not many other people have.
And I'll repeat what he said: you just want to play for him.
He's got that Tom Hafey quality about him.
I don't think you can argue with what Port Adelaide's done. It's been remarkable, and Ken Hinkley has to take a bow.
Game, shall we? North Melbourne taking on Port Adelaide. Sunday at the Docklands, and quickly the changes for the Kangas.
Anthony Tippett, good to see him in there along with the Jacobs, and they'll make their changes obviously later in the week. For the Port Adelaide Maggies, Hitchcock's in, O'Shea and Young. And there's a shot of Ollie Wines. Look at that magnificent oval, Adelaide Oval. Looks a picture, doesn't it?
Last week, Brent Harvey, the old man of the North Melbourne Football Club, played a scintillating game. And funnily enough, none of the Bulldogs wanted to go anywhere near him.
No, well, they didn't seem to pay him as much respect as they should have. But, he's a fantastic player. But I don't think we can get 4 quarters out of him like the old days. I think we need to expect that Zeeble and Wells will actually... that's who we should be looking for to maintain 4 quarters of footy.
That's probably a good point, Duck, and I'm sure you watch North Melbourne fairly closely. So Zeeble, as Shelley said, Cunnington, those sort of guys, that's a funny name to say. They need to really stand up, don't they?
Yeah, well, that's right. And it is a little bit of a concern that Boomer Harvey is still their match winner. I mean, Daniel's been a little bit quiet to start the season, so expect him to bounce back. I think Tim Watson said earlier this week that he might be carrying an injury, and we often say that when very good players don't start as well. We've been saying it about Dane Swan this week as well. So I expect the Kangaroos to be a lot better than what they have been over the last 2 weeks.
Okay, now, Matty, the Port Adelaide forward line. Have they got one of the best forward lines running around at the moment? When you look at them, they've got Schultz, they've got Westhoff, they've got Butcher, they've got Gray. It's a pretty awesome forward line.
Yeah, I think they've gone really well at the start of the year, and they've had some great delivery from some of the midfielders in the Port team with Hartlett and these kind of guys and Monfries, and they get some really good delivery into that forward line. So it'll be a nice forward line to lead.
Monfries, Ebert and Wingard, I mean, 3 of the best small forwards in the game. You're right, but the small forwards, I mean, years ago they were there to crumb, and that's it. They are now genuine targets up in the forward line, and they've got 3 of the best.
Oh, Chad Wingard, absolute star. But Duck, let's get a tip on this one.
All right, just off the back of, I'm going off form here, I think Port Adelaide will be hard to beat.
What I like about you, Duck?
I'm going to go North Melbourne and Wellesley to beat best on.
Port have got a bad record against North at the Docklands, but I'm going to go with Port. I think they can do it.
Good point there. I don't think they played very well there, but Port just.
I think the power as well. I think they're going to be too strong.
Kelly?
The Kangaroos aren't the side of 2013 from the first two games that I've seen. Port Adelaide for mine.